Hey everyone, welcome to the Gaming X, and today we're taking a look at our review for Metropolis Lux Obscura on the Nintendo Switch. Now, is this the gritty R-rated title the Switch needed? Let's find out. So before we get started, if you are new here, then consider hitting subscribe. We appreciate all the support the YouTube community has given us, and we'd love to see you on future reviews. Your support allows us to continue to release videos just like this one, and more of you, it means a bigger community of gamers to discuss them. With that being said, let's get started. It's a story, and here you take on the role of John Lockhart, who walks free at the opening of the game from the prison system. Framed for the murder of an old friend, he returns to the city to track down who framed him for this crime and exact his own form of revenge. This is a story drenched in blood. It's a unique tale, that's for sure, especially for the previously known family-friendly Nintendo universe. This one is clearly influenced by the Sin City universe, but it does enough to make the tale its own. With 4 endings, you have a decent amount of story here to dig through as you proceed with the gameplay. With that being said, let's jump into the gameplay, and there's not too much to say when it comes to it. This is a match-3 tile puzzle system, one which works but brings nothing new to the table as such. Typically, you'll find yourself in a battle against an opponent, ones that are usually considerably more powerful than you, so you'll find yourself with multiple turns compared to their one. Now, it's not a bad system, but like any tile game, you really do rely on the random generation. With this game though, I just never felt an ability to build up too much in the way of strategy, simply I relied on where the blocks fell. It was enjoyable nonetheless, but it didn't quite match the depth I had anticipated. With no timer attached either, I could at least frequently take my time and make the most out of a bad situation. Once the battles are over, you additionally find yourself rewarded with abilities. These match the mood of the title. These are frequently matched to more than depressing text, such as becoming an alcoholic or drug addict. It suits the game's overall tone, but provides little in context other than another attempt from the title to shock you. With that being covered, that's pretty much everything you get here, an average puzzle tile title attached to a gloriously pitch black noir thriller. Now be warned, this one, it's short and you can easily beat this within probably, I'd say at most, a 60-minute playthrough. You will find 4 endings here however, so there is some replayability. But even then, it's not an awful lot to keep you coming back. So graphics, and simply put, this one looks fantastic. Beautifully drawn comic cells encapsulate the gritty noir imagery it sets out to portray. Black and white visuals fill your screen with minimal injections of colour. Like so many noir films and stories before it, these colours frequently reference the blood-soaked imagery to really overpower them, or it simply references important storyline elements. Animations, as per the visual novel inspiration, is minimal, but it gets everything right here to portray the storyline, with constant motion between cells of the comic keeping the engagement at a peak. When it comes to the in-game graphics themselves, it's pretty basic stuff if I'm honest. After all, it's a match-3 tile puzzle title. There's nothing wrong with them, but they don't quite stand up to the story itself or the storyline presentation. Now the tiles, they are clearly marked and each do enough so you can understand the consequences each achieves from the battle system. Finally, we have the city, and this is where you choose your next step in the storyline and next battle. You can choose what location you progress to. It's a beautifully detailed game board, shall we say, and it achieves everything it needs to. It represents the city we are so embedded in throughout our game time. Overall, graphics are definitely a highlight here. They match the tonality of the storyline perfectly, and they never shy away from adult content. This is by far the most R-rated title on the Switch. In fact, it may be one of the most adult titles out of the Xbox, PS4 or Nintendo. Now when I say graphic, I mean really graphic at points. This is in no way for kids. You can expect sex scenes, violence, and this is going to push those that are easily shocked to the edge. Finally, we have sound and music, and this was for the majority exceptional. I loved the voice acting here. It captured the intensity these characters needed, and they really did a fantastic job of balancing the tone throughout, whether that was the visuals, the storyline. It all felt as you would expect. Then music, and again, while it's minimal, when it had its chance to shine, it really did. It supported the action taking place and the storyline. Then we had the sound effects, and while there's really not too much going on, they bring the city game board to life with environmental effects, and they even managed to add in a few physical attack sound effects to add some weight to your match-3 combinations and their consequences. This is everything from acid burning at the skin to punches at your enemy. Overall, a fantastic audio experience. So the final verdict, and with this one, when it comes to tone and storyline, there's simply put nothing else out there quite like this. The very moment this game launches, it has R-rated plastered all over it, from the main menu to the storyline of murder, all the way through to the sex scenes and strippers of the city. The graphics alongside the sound and music are perfectly balanced to support this tonality, and the game's drenched in noir thriller that it clearly loves. Unfortunately though, it's attached to a very short playthrough and an average puzzle game system that does very little to celebrate the genre. It never feels like strategy, but simply luck in how these tiles fall. I never felt I could gain an understanding of the system to become a master, but for what it's worth, I definitely enjoyed it for what it was. Fortunately though, to support this average system, the storyline that's just so out there and so unique that at points it even shocked me with its graphic nature. If you're looking for something wholly adult, this might be the game for you. Just go in expecting sex, violence, and an absolute ton of language. But who doesn't want to play through a Sin City storyline, really? The Gaming X awards Metropolis Lux Obscura a decent 7 out of 10. Now, as I said at the beginning, if you are new here, then consider hitting subscribe. We appreciate all the support the YouTube community has given us, and we'd love to see you on future reviews. Your support, it allows us to continue to release videos just like this one, and more review means a bigger community of gamers to discuss them. With that being said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next Gaming X.